What the heck is going on, guys? Welcome to your 7th biology tutorial, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about carbohydrates. But before I get into that, I want to go ahead and mention a few things about carbon, because believe it or not, they kind of tie in together really closely. And I guess before I even start talking about the educational stuff, I just want to say I apologize if I sound kind of nasally right now, but unfortunately I'm allergic to just about everything on Earth. So, if I sound kind of weird, sorry, but you'll get over it. So basically, your body absolutely loves carbon. And this is supposed to be a heart right here. I know it kind of looks kind of weird like a loaf of bread or a kidney bean, but this is supposed to be heart, and that means that your body loves carbon. Why is that? Well, your body uses carbon and it turns it into a bunch of different stuff that you need to live, like carbohydrates and proteins and nucleic acids and lipids. And actually, what I want to do is I want to make a separate video for each one of those things because each of those compounds is incredibly important in your body. So they deserve their own video. But for right now, we're just going to be talking about carbohydrates. And if you're wondering, you know what? Where do I even get carbon from if I love it so much and I need it? Well, you actually get carbon from food. There's a bunch of carbon in food, and whenever you eat it, your body, breaks it apart, uses the carbon for, turns it into a bunch of different stuff. Plants, however, they don't eat food, they make their own food, but we'll talk about more of those differences later on. For now, just remember that your body loves carbon and it turns carbon into different things that your body needs, starting with carbohydrates. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Carbohy. Carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, kind of a tongue twister, is a compound that consists of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, the typical formula for this is CH2O, which basically means that you have one carbon, two hydrogens, and one oxygen. However, this formula can be multiplied, and by multiplied I mean that carbohydrates usually have the ratio 1 to 1, but you can have something like C6H12O6. So even though their formula is technically different, the ratio is the same, 1 to 2 to 1, 6 to 12 to 6. It's basically all the same thing. So now that we know what carbohydrates kind of, the chemical formula at least, you're wondering why the heck does your body even need carbohydrates? Because you know what, Bucky? I read the Atkins diet and he said that carbohydrates are bad and make you fat. Well, that is true if you have a ton of carbohydrates in your body, but your body needs at least a few carbohydrates just to function. To do what kind of stuff? Well, living things, including your body, they actually break down carbohydrates for energy. And your body, uses a bunch of different things for energy, but the reason that it loves carbohydrates so much is because it can get really it can get energy from them really quickly. Now, the only downfall of this is the energy from carbohydrates, it doesn't last very long. And that's why your body needs to eat every few hours to get those carbs. It burns them off so it can get a quick source of energy, but the energy doesn't last that long. So that's why your body needs to store energy in other things other than carbohydrates, but we're going to be talking about that later. Now, just some random information just because this is bugging me right here. This, I said, is the basic formula for a carbohydrate, a ratio of 1 carbon to 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen. However, this right here is actually a special carbohydrate called glucose. It's actually a sugar, and sugars are carbohydrates, believe it or not. Fun fact. Going to be talking about that later. But for right now, I just wanted to give you guys that little random bit of information because this was bugging me right down there. For this tutorial, all you have to remember is that the formula for a carbohydrate is typically with the ratio 1 carbon, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, and your body needs carbohydrates because they can break them down and use them for a quick source of energy. However, the energy from carbohydrates doesn't last very long, and therefore your body needs to store energy in other things, and we're going to be talking about that later on. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.